Rewatchers Council is back live Thursdays for Buffy Season 6, Episode 3, Afterlife this time. I guess technically Episode 3, you know.
Yeah.
Really Episode 2. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, technically Episode 3. Ferris Muthana's here. Ferris, how are you, pal?
I'm doing good, Rob. I'm doing very well.
Oh, what a huge bragger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How the audio sounding just fine.
Yes.
Just a little.
It's been a good week.
It seems to be going okay.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't started phasing in and out of internets yet. So let's, you know what? Fingers crossed. That's all we can do from now on. We're starting this thing. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's get into the episode here a little bit. Now, its original air date was October 9th of 2001. Written by good old Jane Espenson. Her last one was Intervention. I don't know if this one was a laugh a minute, like many of Jane Espenson's episodes could be, but
very serious.
Yeah,
very serious topic.
I think they were dealing with something pretty serious. Someone who's been, brought back to life after 3 months or whatever.
A demon creation at one point.
We'll see. We'll see about that. Directed by David Solomon. The last one he did was The Weight of the World, of course. Now, your number one movie, United States of America, Ferris. I guess, I don't know if you can call this a classic, unless you're a huge Denzel Washington fan. Training Day.
It's a classic, Rob. What are you talking about?
I don't know if it's a classic.
Yes, it is.
I think he's obviously very good in it, but I don't know if the movie is a classic.
Nah, the movie's a classic, man.
No. If we're
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
It's hard to think of it now. Look, it's like 25 years. It just doesn't feel that long. It's like, how can you call that a classic? It's only 25 years old, for God's sake. That's what happens. That's what happens after a while, Ferris. I'm telling you, you'll get to know. Number one song in your good old USA, "Fallen" by Alicia Keys.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah, everyone loves Alicia Keys. What are you talking about here?
Song is in A minor.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, yeah.
That's the album. That's the album.
Okay,
yes,
very good. So, now, the number one song in the UK, "No Angel" by Dido. Dido. The number one
Dido's
song.
the...
Yeah, she's
okay.
The lady singing on Stan.
Oh,
yeah. She has David Boreanaz in one of her videos.
Why not?
Yeah, sure.
David Boreanaz, man.
He was available.
No, man. Hey, man. David Boreanaz, he's like he's a superstar, man. He got big head,
sure.
Model, big head, great hair. Mm-hmm. Got some good charisma, man. Man was destined for greatness.
He just can't stop getting on television.
He's gonna be on TV for the next 10 years with the Rockford Files.
I hope it's successful. I really like the original Rockford Files. I'm just hoping that they have the same
original music.
Come on, get that thing.
Have to. You can't change the theme.
Oh, a harmonica never hurt anybody except for that one time that guy hit that guy in the head with a huge harmonica. But come on.
Yeah, well, yeah.
How often does that happen? Not very often.
Yeah, yes, true. I've seen it happen.
Yeah. The number one song in Canada fails. Canada fails everybody. There You'll Be, the number one song in Canada. Faith Hill. Hill. When they just started throwing crossover pop crap at the wall. This one's stuck in Canada. There You'll Be.
Oh, Faith Hill. My bad. Okay, got it. The country singer. For a minute, I was like, yeah, I was like, because my I don't know. I thought of Faith Evans for a minute. Faith Hill, yeah. Sunday Night Football. The former singer of Sunday Night Football.
Sure. Yep. That's right. Yeah.
That's how I know her as.
I'd prefer it if that song was sung by Faith Evans. I think that would be quite fun. Yeah. Well, maybe, I don't know. I don't think she was ever canceled with any of that crap. Now, DVD summary time. And boy, oh boy, do they spoil the hell out of it. Spoil the ending right here in the summary. Like, if you were just new and you're like, oh, I'm going to leaf through the summaries of Buffy here to see what happens. Well, here we go. As the gang battles a demon that hitched a ride on Buffy when she crossed back over into our world, Buffy tells Spike that when she died, she thinks she was in heaven. So the big reveal at the end of this thing, no matter what she was saying to her friends before, is given away right here. Thank you to Fox Home Video.
Mm-hmm.
Just letting people know right off the bat, everything Buffy tells you in this is probably a lie. You know, maybe it's a good-natured lie. She didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
hurt her friends. Like, I guess they've hurt her tremendously.
Yes.
She's going to take it out on them the entire season. But okay, let's actually get into the episode. It just starts up right where bargaining ends.
Mm-hmm.
The Scoobs that were left behind after fighting Razor heading back. They're all discussing if that really was Buffy that they saw. Anya, of course, thinks she's come back broken. Anya is the true star of the episode. Everything she says is absolute gold.
Hits, man. She's amazing, bro. I love Anya.
Yeah.
Favorite character.
Mm-hmm. Willow doesn't think she's all that broken. She's got a reputation to uphold. She did some magic. She can't have anything going wrong with that. She gets very defensive about magic. This is something you're gonna have to keep your eye on here as we start going through good old season 6. She's sure Buffy was in hell. Positive about it. Don't refer to the DVD summary here, and that it's going to take a little bit getting over just being in hell, Ferris. Now, where I live.
Well, also too, Rob. Hey, speaking of Willow and the I think we've forgotten, right, when she was doing her spell, the demons they interrupted it. They broke like a vase.
Yep.
And so there's probably some complications that arise.
Could be.
So it's not really Willow's fault.
She also barfed us out, and an innocent fawn, which is going to get surprisingly brought up here in a little bit. Turns out though, of course, last we saw, Dawn and Buffy were up on the tower. It's crumbled, and now Dawn has brought Buffy home, kind of fussying her around, showing around a bit, couple of changes that had gone on over at Casa del Summers in the last few months. Willow and Tara have moved into her mother's room, for goodness sakes. There's a computer on the dining room table. This was a big deal for 2001, I suppose. Dawn has her change up some clothes and starts cleaning her up, wiping dirt off her neck and stuff like that. This isn't anything she should really be doing. Anyways, Buffy's not focused on anything that Dawn's leading her through at all. She just seems confused by everything, which, who can blame? Who can blame the lady for this time? Dawn wants to talk, but Buffy has no interest. A lot of people want Buffy to do things here. Buffy seems just wants to be left alone for a minute, which is, I think she has every right to be. Anyways, she tells Buffy that Giles had just left that day, but don't worry, he'll be coming back. Then, of course, Spike shows up. Spike believes that when he sees her, he does, hey, check it out. Check this out. It's like, yeah, I've seen the bloody robot before here, Don. Of course, the last time I saw her, or it, was in a bunch of pieces. They're in that parking lot or whatever the heck the biker gang had her busted up in. He's like, yeah, I've seen this thing. Will sure got this thing pieced together pretty quick, and then it eventually dawns on him. Oh, that's actual Buffy. So he's gonna ask Dawn what she did, which is fair, considering the lengths he went to help Dawn resurrect her mother. It is of no surprise to me that he was. What did you do? And she's like, I didn't do anything. Like, get off my back. Then he's gonna notice the hands, and knows exactly how they got that way, and she's going to acknowledge it. Yeah. Had to dig herself out of her own grave. One of the least favorite things I'd ever have to do. To tell you the truth, I'd rather do a lot of other things than that. Then when he tells her she's been gone for 147 days, the 148, but not counting today. It's like, okay, Spike, we get it.
Mm-hmm.
Relax. Come on, buddy. Relax for a minute. She says, yeah, I've been gone longer. Felt a little longer than 147 days. And Dawn goes get some medicine, brings back. The Scoobies arrive. They surround her. They start pelting her with questions and stuff like that. Dawn wants to know how they knew about this. Anya asks Buffy if she's a zombie, which is a
valid question.
direct but
Valid
fair.
question.
It's direct but fair. But
Mm-hmm.
also, if she was a zombie,
Rob, I'll be right back.
wouldn't you?
I'll be
Sure,
right back.
sure.
Continue talking.
I'm going to talk to the audience here. If you were ever a zombie, and you're like a sentient zombie, sort of like what was the Netflix show, Santa Clarita Diet. You're a sentient zombie. You're not gonna just go admit you're a zombie. That'd be the last thing you do. Say, oh no. I'm all for just being a regular human here, guys. I'm all for regular food. Certainly not brains, but of course, Anya's told before. It's like the only time zombies eat brains is if they're ordered to by their zombie masters. No, how a terrible afterlife that would be. Get resurrected just to be something's evil slave. Pretty terrible stuff here. Anyway, Dawn's had enough of all the circling Buffy, asking all the questions. She tells them all to back off. Willow eventually tells her that they did a spell. Buffy says, she's okay. She remembers them having a spell and stuff like that. Gang starts bickering again. Again, Dawn says, hey. Back off, guys. Enough of this. Buff just wants to go to sleep. She's been dead tired now for 147 days. You know what I mean? Anybody would want a nap after being asleep in the afterlife here for 147 days. Willow's going to gloat about how she brought her back. Buffy heads off to bed. Xander and Anya are going to go home. Anya tells them that, of course, she doesn't think Buffy came back right. No filter. No filter on Anya. Something you have to admire about the lady. I think she pulls no punches when it comes down to this stuff. Anyways, Xander then sees Spike when they're on their way out. He starts giving him shit, despite fighting beside them all summer. They didn't even tell him that they were thinking about bringing good old Buffy back. Xander gets flippant. He says, well, now you know. What do you want from us? Now you know here, pal. Even though, Spike's the only one who can really do actual fighting. Except for Willow. Her spells, I suppose. So Spike's figured out why nobody ever said anything to him. It was because, Willow knew that if she brought her back and it was wrong, they'd have to get rid of the problem. If you know what I mean. They'd have to dispose of everything that went wrong. If you're following, they'd have to kill Buffy again, and Spike wouldn't have it again or whatever. He wouldn't let him do it. So Xander just asks if this isn't the happiest he's ever been in his entire afterlife. Spike says, "Whoa, he's gonna go." He's grumbling, but he has to remind them magic has a cost always. You don't get it for free. There's always going to be a bit of something that goes along with magic. So everyone now is getting ready for bed. It's been a long day. Bikers have come, trashed the town, trashed many of the neighboring houses. There's been motorcycles stolen. Robots ripped to shreds. And of course, like many a night in Sunnydale, a person has been resurrected from the dead. So Buffy's still up. She's looking just around her room here. Willow and Tara, they're now their room. We see that Willow has told Giles about it. He says he's going to be back soon. Says she could even hear him clean his glasses, which is, yeah. Now, I think as soon as she said that, I think we could all hear Giles cleaning his glasses here. Willow's still defensive about the spell. Tara wants her to be honest. Pretty, she's safe there and she's loved and da da da. It's time. This is where you don't have to be brave. You can just spit it out. You know what I mean? And not even talking about a snake this time. Just the truth, which can be a serpent of its own sometimes, if you think about it. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. Anyways, Willow turns out might be a little worried about what this seemingly has done to her. It's never easy giving reverse birth to a snake, I guess. Also, she wanted Buffy to be more appreciative. And this is for Willow Rosenberg to say something like that, just to be that, I don't know, what's a good word? Selfish. To be that selfish. She should have said, first thing she should have done is just run over to Willow to say thank you. Oh, well, whatever. Anyways, we're going to see Buffy, meanwhile, looking at some old pictures they still had up on the wall. Never really changed Buffy's room, so that's fine. Buffy always had pictures of her friends for some reason up in her room. I don't know what young lady, she was a 20-year-old adult lady, would have so many pictures of just her friends from high school up in her room, but there you go. Anyways, all these pictures start having their faces turned to skulls, which is sort of gnarly. So we get woken up with this next thing with Tara, but, well, Tara, we don't. We're awake while we're watching it, unless you're sleep watching it. No shame in that. Put on a little Buffy, fall asleep. Maybe have a little Buffy dream or something like that. It's up to you. But this one, Tara and Willow get woken up by, just a blank-faced Buffy. They don't get any say a shadowed-faced Buffy. The foot of their bed breaks a glass, and then starts giving them shit about what they did, calling them children and bitches. Some hard words from Buffy Summers here, and asking if she patted the fawn's head while she slit its throat, which is I don't know. I don't know if she put her. You could just see the faraway look in Willow's eyes when she did. It wasn't great. Anyways, she's gonna throw another glass above their head. Says she's still stained with its blood. Light goes on. No Buffy. Was it all just a dream they had? But anyways, because they take a look over at Buffy. She's fast asleep. Tara's saying, yeah, maybe we dreamed it. And Willow has to remind them, we're two separate people. Pretty tough to have a co-dream thing, even though they've all done it before. I believe the episode was called Nightmares. Well, it was in no way trying to rip off another franchise at the time. It's not like this one. It doesn't borrow heavily from a certain franchise that started in the 80s. Had a movie in the 90s and a television show that came out a few years ago. You know what I mean? We'll talk about it later, maybe. Anyways, the paintings start moving across the walls. Willow's going to call Xander to wake him up. Meanwhile, Anya's been trying her best to get him to wake up because she couldn't sleep. She wanted to play a word game with him for whatever reason. Anyways, the phone rings. He wakes up. She's so you get it for this. You get it for this. And not her constant bugging him. Anyways, Will tells him that they were attacked and, how everything went down here. Tells him that there's something in the house. We're going to need we're going to need you to help do something about this, I guess. Anya had taken off at this time and comes sauntering back in from the kitchen with a knife and starts cutting her face. Big glass glossed over eyes. The way the camera's framed is incredibly similar to the Evil Dead franchise. She looks like a deadite, 100%. Anyways, she's going to pass out. There's no scars on her face, anything like that, but you see some weird blob moving neath the carpet. I was going to say beneath, but I go for the classy. It's almost like I'm Shakespeare. Just get rid of the B part. Just say neath that carpet. I'm basically the Shakespeare Rewatchers Council. There, I said it. I've been thinking myself this way for quite some time. Okay. Next day over at Buffy's, Xander's is being, consoled by Anya, the one who got possessed and kind of knife-faced herself and stuff like that. She's the one consoling Xander over what happened. Of course, she had no memory, so it really doesn't matter to her, and no scars. So they start going over what happened. Anya suggests something maybe hitchhiked with Buffy across the dimensions, as they do. You know what I mean? Everyone can, catch a free lift with somebody. That's fine. Willow finally gets that something may not have gone right. First time she's ever thought, maybe I wasn't so perfect. When you're at the top of your class for everything, maybe it just gets a little difficult to, accept. Maybe I did make a mistake. Well, what do you want from me? Anya says she knew that they shouldn't have brought Buffy back because she's always right about things. When the talk starts to turn to killing this thing that came over, seemingly, with Buffy, she shows up. Wants to know what they're going to be killing. Anya tells her exactly what. Says, thing that hitchhike with you and stuff like that. Tara doesn't want her to worry about it. Then Buffy's going to start telling them about the pictures. Buffy, probably you're imagining she had a good night's rest here. Still, she is seems a little cloudy in her head or whatever as she starts talking about the pictures and stuff like that. She thought maybe she was going crazy. Anya as that she might be, from hell. She doesn't know. Then she's, says she's fine after she's glared at by Willow and stuff. Buffy still seems emotionless. She wants to get to work on this demon thing. That they're not quite sure what it is yet, but they're scoops. Figure it out. They always do. So they're going to start researching classic style. They found 5 different species that hitchhike between dimensions, including ones that eat large or small bones. Don would prefer the ones that eat the small bones and stuff like that. Until Anya tells her, of course, that just means it eats bones of smaller people, just like herself, just like poor Donnie. So it doesn't look like she's too up for the small bones anywhere. Anyways, also one that's really fluidy, which is gross and stains everything. And while they talk, Buffy says she misses Giles out of nowhere with just a blank look. There's nothing that, I guess maybe because just bringing the researching back, they're at the magic box. Maybe it's just a little thing where she misses Giles, and that's it. Then decides, well, I got to go patrol. He's like, oh, we should go with you and stuff like that. No, I'm out here. I'm doing this myself. So she leaves. You see Dawn's eyes glaze over and have an evil smirk on her face. Of course, they cut the commercial. You know what I mean? So it comes back. See that, and this time, with she's eyes glazed, smirking, ready to do something. Anya has time to go to a coffee shop. There was a bookstore, then a bookstore, coffee shop, now a coffee shop. And so they have to mention that because, 2001. That's what we talked about. Back in those days, you know, the mom and pa bookstore. Yeah, it isn't the coffee shops that ended that, guys. It was the internet. Everyone still had their computers. No one was ever complaining about the computer. Good old computer. Now, she comes back with the coffees and stuff like that. Doesn't give Dawn one. Gives her hot chocolate, which has caffeine. Oh, yeah, and incredibly sugar. Anyways, Dawn's eyes, you see Dawn, she's just standing in the corner like she did something bad, for God's sakes. Anyways, now she springs into action as one who has a glazed over face and is possessed condemned. She says that they're stupid children, and talks about the blood reaching them. Says, "Look what you've done," and starts breathing fire like she's Gene Simmons in concert in 1977. For God's sake, Middle Firehouse for Gene Simmons. Same kind of deal, except she didn't need the alcohol and the torch. That was just natural fire coming out of her. Ridiculous. Anyway, set some books on fire. Xander's going to pat those out. You see that thing moving underneath the floor. Tiles this time. I don't even know if they're what kind of tiles are there. Anya asks if that's what she looked like. Which is fair. It's a concerning look. To know that was on your face at any time would be something. Anyways, tells Dawn when she starts coming to there that she'll probably be experiencing dry mouth, from the fire, which is I think the least of her worries at the time. Then they wonder where that bloody thing went. So we're gonna go visit Spike at his place, and he's being quite emo over things, punching walls, crying and laughing. This is what a fully sane person does, is be by themselves, hitting things and cry laughing, for God's sakes. Anyways, Buffy shows up, notices his hand is hurt too. We got the, matchies. They're matchies, which is so adorable. He brings up how powerful Willow is, and he tells her how he failed Dawn, but he says he saved her from jumping. I'm talking about Buffy. He saved Buffy from jumping every night after that into 147 different ways. Every time he ends up saving her. You know what I mean? Yeah. Too bad you only get that one crack. It reminds me of a legendary backgammon game concerning a contract for a kid from the WHA, which may or not be true. I've heard that it is. Anyways, he had one chance to win that contract. Somebody failed to. He won the rest of them, but it didn't matter. Anyways, over at the magic box, Xander asked Tara if she knew if the spell could have gone awry at all. Tries nicely to infer if she thought Willow did. Tara gets upset, excusing Willow. Xander's going to back off, and that's when we hear that Willow's figured it all out. This demon didn't escape with Buffy when she came over. It was made during the spell. Just like I made Ferris just by talking about a spell, which is pretty remarkable, pretty powerful wizard over here. I'm not gonna lie. Good old Ferris. We're just talking about how it's come to the point in the story where Willow has figured out this is no hitchhiker. Mm-hmm. This is something she made. You see a little bit of almost like pride in her face for a quick second that she's the thing that didn't. It's something called thermogenesis.
Yes, thermogenesis.
I'm believing I'm saying it right. I usually get words like that wrong. Anyways, it's the price of the Buffy, the rebuffing, yes. The rebuffing spell here, and they can't see it because it's out of phase in their dimension for some reason. It has no body, so it just borrows whoever they can, which is pretty rude. And if they undo it, and does Buffy 2, which is not great. Dawn isn't having any of this. Tells them
Mm-hmm.
that would be worse. And, if you never even brought her back, that wouldn't be as bad as bringing her back for a couple of minutes and saying, uh-oh, we got an invisible person with it. Got to undo it. So,
Mm-hmm.
no, she isn't having it. It tells Willow she can't mess with people's lives like this. Maybe Willow's going to hear those words and understand. You shouldn't use magic to mess with people's lives. So we'll see if she learns anything moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
They tell her that no, we're gonna find another way. We're not gonna do it so that we get rid of Buffy. Will finds out something. He says, "Oh, good. This demon's only temporary, Ferris. It only stays in the dimension until it kills the original target of the spell. So
Mm-hmm.
don't worry, Buffy saved. But wait, the original target was Buffy."
Yes.
And so he's like, "Oh, great." Then all of a sudden, bam! It's in Xander for one quick second, just to say thanks for the tip. Why would you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just not smart. That wasn't smart on that demon's part at all. Even though it's
Mm-hmm.
brand new. Why would you
They
say
don't know where it is. It's crawling around underneath stuff.
it
They
didn't
didn't
know
know.
they were? It was listening to them. It didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that it didn't know. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, now I know. Great, I know how to stay alive. Thanks a lot, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's gonna, skedaddle. It's gonna get on the way over to the Summers place. It's already been there. It knows the way. Buffy gets home now and gets followed up the stairs by something. So when this ghost, it's now a ghost, by the way. It's not invisible. It's taken a little bit of form. It looks like that. Do you remember Ghostbusters? You remember with the first ghost that you see, the librarian ghost or whatever, when it starts coming at them in Ghostbusters? That's what this thing reminds me of. I don't know why
Mm-hmm.
every time I say, "Oh, there's Ghostbusters thing." Anyways, there's some not great. They're gonna get a bunch of money here. They moved over to UPN.
Mm-hmm.
They get a bunch more money. The CGI and stuff they're using, not fantastic. It's not great. They're just working out. Maybe they're just working it out. They're showing more
CGI is.
shots.
I don't know if CGI is. It's in its infancy. It's still
Yeah,
early. Still
yeah,
early.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just when Buffy gets thrown or whatever, you can see,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is nowhere close. This isn't
Mm-hmm.
very good. Anyway, she's going to tell Buffy, you don't belong here, which I found strange. Seeing that's Buffy's house. Who
Mm-hmm.
doesn't belong there? Some guy who's, just got made up, a day ago, telling someone. If it won't be the first time, all right. I'm sorry, it will be the first time, but not the
Mm-hmm.
last time somebody tells Buffy she doesn't belong in her own house. For God's sakes. Anyways, Buffy doesn't even have a pun for this thing. That's how
Mm-hmm.
getting used to being back Buffy is. Anyways, the ghost can get seemingly corporeal when it needs to.
Yes.
Buffy tries to hit the thing. It's
Tries
all
to grab
misty.
its wrist and
Yeah,
then
it gets
it
misty,
fades
and then
away.
you can smack Buffy around when it wants. Pretty unfair, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
It asks her if they told her she belongs, and wonder if they told her pretty lies. And so okay, we get Xander, Dawn, and Anya making their way to the Summers now in a car. I don't know whose car this is. I guess Xander's purple car that he has. He gets a little crap for not having a lead foot here, for
Mm-hmm.
obeying traffic laws. And I just want to, for one, congratulate him. Safety first. You're not just out there by yourself. Who knows how many, they could be going through school zones.
Absolutely.
What happens if somebody's dog's just out on the street? You have to be careful. Buffy could take care of herself. She isn't a little wallflower here and stuff. You know what I mean? It's called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, not
Mm-hmm.
Buffy the Vampire Victim. You know what I mean? Anyways, Tara and Willow are going to be working on a spell. Dawn is going to correctly ask if he's sure that Willow and Tara aren't just doing a spell to send her back. which is, he's like, oh, well, I would imagine so. Anyways, he
Mm-hmm.
says he's just going to try, they're just going to try to make this thing more punchable for Buffy, which is a nice thing to do, I guess. We then see them reciting this spell while Buffy is being beaten like a rented mule around her own place, which is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Very rhymey spells. Why is it so many spells have to rhyme? You know what I mean?
I like rhyming spells.
Well, I'm sure they're fine. It's just like I think they went out of their way sometimes to make some of these things rhyme. And it wouldn't just been easier, Well, we'll see in a minute how it can get easier. Anyways, the camera's going to pan around them a lot. The ghosty thing, he is fighting Buffy now. Is going to rub it in her face that her friends, won't miss her when she goes. Xander, Anya, and Dawn going to show up. Buffy tells them to get out. Tara's going to continue the spell. She's the only one rhyming,
Mm-hmm.
at the time. Willis just stopped. But she's starting to glow now, which isn't ideal. But she hasn't produced a serpent from her body, which is nice. Her eyes are going to open up now, all blacked out again.
Mm-hmm.
Just says the word solid, and voila. See, that's how you do a spell. One word, pal. Enough of this rhyme. You don't have to rhyme one word. Your spell could be orange. You just say orange, turn something orange. You don't have to rhyme it. You know what I mean? That's why there's so little spells that turn things orange. I've said it 1,000 times. Anyways, it does get a couple awkward strikes in, even though it's solid now and just sweeping arm things, which is terrible. Anyways, before Buffy takes this axe that she had
Mm-hmm.
grabbed from under her bed, remembered where that thing was, cleaves its head off so cleanly, it just looks like a styrofoam mannequin head bouncing and rolling around. Dawn wonders that, oh, this is the stuff I'm not supposed to see, right? I would say, oh, I prefer you see that
Mm-hmm.
than a lot of the things. You know what I mean? There's been way grosser stuff than this, for God's sakes. Anyways, the next day, Dawn's going to head over to school. Buffy's going to stop her. Going to give her the lunch she made her. Maybe Buffy's getting back into the swing of things here. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? She's dressed up in kind of adulty sort of clothes for Buffy, which is nice. Give her a history class pun about doomed to repeat it in history class and stuff like that. Classic. Dawn thinks everything's gonna be better now that people will say how happy good old Buffy is. She's ecstatic about being so happy all the time. Dawn leaves. Buffy doesn't look too upbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy looks like season 6. As soon as she leaves her, and she's gonna go back to the magic box. The gang's gathered there. Gonna tell them all she was in hell, and it felt like the world abandoned her. And then they did what they did. Tara starts bragging for Willow. You know what? You got Willow to thank for this. Uh, magic and stuff like that. She's gonna thank them. Says she should have said it before. Of course, this is a very happy thing for Willow. She's gonna get the pat on the back that she's been looking for. Like a big little Scooby group hug. She's gonna step outside. Spike, for some reason, just hanging around in a pretty shady area. When I say
Mm-hmm.
shady, I mean in the actual, not isn't like in their demeanor. I mean in the actual like out of the sun
In the shade.
area, in the actual shade. It's gonna offer to give her some space. It's like, oh, you look like, he even says you look like you got out of a group hug, and pretty good observation by Spike. So he's like, oh, I'll give you some space and stuff like that. Don't worry about it. And then she's like, oh, well, I can't. I can go like 2 feet here. I don't even know how we got here in the first place, but I didn't see his rank he uses to rush over. They have to speak to one place or another. But she says, you know what? Doesn't matter. I can be alone with you around here, which just has to feel good for a person. He's the one who asked for like the 100th time if
Mm-hmm.
she's okay. She was getting tired of everybody else saying it. She's not too perturbed And when Spike says, and she says she's good, and says, if you need anything, she says, you can't or whatever. Then she's going to start on about hell dimensions, but she tells him where she was. She was happy. She was at peace. She was assured everyone was okay. She was warm and she felt complete, for God's sake. She tells him she was in heaven and she was torn out of that place by her friends. Now everything is cold, hard, and violent. She says, "This is hell." Each moment after everything she lost, which isn't great to hear. And then just says to him, and guess what? You can never tell anyone. Okay, bye. And that's how it ends. Never. She can't ever tell anybody. I don't know why he would not just run and say, "This is what you guys did." He says never. He doesn't say anything. So there you go. So that's it. Next time, Ferris, we get some familiar faces team up together, and also Tucker's brother. There you go. Flooded is the next episode. I just had a couple of questions about the episode here while we're going on. Spike says, he would have stopped Willow. If how would he have stopped her? He can't attack her.
Yes.
Even though he grabs Xander and you can see him wince and stuff like that, I think, the chip or whatever knew he wasn't going to kill or, seriously harm Xander, so it doesn't do much. There's no way he could do anything to Will. Willow could eliminate Spike with a thought these days.
Make him Swiss cheese.
That's right. She's already made her friend a rat. Let's not forget that. This thing we find out is also brand new. This thing that backpacked or whatever, hitched a ride with Buffy, or so they thought. It's brand new. Why is it calling them children? Like, that thing's been around for a whole day. You know what I mean? I think if anyone should
probably
be
a sense. Their sensory. Their sensory processors.
I guess so. I don't know how much of a question this is, more than a statement that I'm saying this. How much do you think they owe Sam Raimi for basically just ripping off or, paying homage to the Deadites from Evil Dead in this thing? The only thing missing from a lot of this, when you see them being possessed by this hitchhiker thing, is the sound like the awe and the rustling of the trees and the first person perspective of the camera and stuff like that. This thing is so dead on for Deadites. I figure, ooh, this is a
lawsuit ready to happen.
I don't know, a lawsuit, but I think maybe they should have had something a little more, say thanks to Sam Raimi for something in there. Anyways, another thing. I think this is the first time we've ever seen them just hang out in the backyard.
Yeah.
We've seen the fight, and it was a Dead Man's Party. We've seen them fight there when the thing came out of her mom's bedroom and stuff like that, and they fought in the backyard. And I think when Spike and Buffy, Spike was gonna go kill Buffy, and she was crying on the stairs or whatever. I think that was in the backyard, but you never really see the backyard during the day. So I thought it was interesting and stuff like that. There's a lot more outdoor shots now that they've switched networks. We can say that. Also, they're saying when they're going through stuff about, the book, they're reading and stuff, they're talking about the and how to, the way you have to get rid of it is by getting rid of the spell and getting Dawn all worked up. Why doesn't Will just read the whole, like, she stops right there and then says, oh, wait, there's more. I could have just read this other sentence to, to take the pressure off here a little bit. Of course, the other sentence really didn't help, I guess, all that much either. So there you go. Ferris, you missed a little bit while wandering around, but the audience and I think we had a good time, got connected. I compared myself to Bill Shakespeare at one point.
Okay.
I think fairly deserved. I think fairly
I think
deserved.
I can see that.
Thank you very much, pal. Why don't you tell people what you're up to here on the good old Let's Get Ready networks?
Tomorrow, Good Friends, Better Rivals on our sports channel. Me and Caleb are going to do our eponymous show, the namesake. We're going to be talking some OTAs. We're going to be talking about some. I'm going to get my opinions on the Giants schedule. We're just going to talk about football in general and just have some fun. We have 451 subscribers, so we're 49 away from 500. So share that link, share it with everybody.
What's the big deal? It always seems to be a big deal when the season comes out. I just never understood what the big deal about when you play somebody is. Anyways, you have to play them at some point if you're in
Well,
if you're in their division.
some teams, if you play them late in the season or early on in the season, you could beat them or not beat them. Just depends on where you catch teams. Last year, the Giants beat the Eagles on Thursday night. They caught the Eagles on a down swing, and they beat them. So it depends on how the season's going. Like early on, we could have beaten the Dallas Cowboys early on. The
Hmm.
defense was atrocious. We had a chance to beat them week 2, and we let it slip from our fingers. See, like it just depends on where and when.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, we'll tune in for all the schedule talk. Now,
Mm-hmm.
uh, over on our sports channel, like you mentioned, maybe not the eponymous show, but uh, next Monday, I believe it is, we'll be talking more Stanley Cup playoffs. We're going to see with Ryan Christensen, maybe Adelia. Adelia's team here in the Stanley Cup semifinals. They're in the Western Finals, the
Mm-hmm.
Colorado Avalanche. I don't feel too bad for her if her team loses in this one, even though I predicted them to win, I think in 5 or something. We'll mention why in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll be talking about how the first round or the first few games of the semi or the finals, Western and Eastern finals are going. Any news that are getting brought up, that's going to be on Playoff Beards. That should be out Monday, and then we got the season finale of Starting 11 on Tuesday, live at 7 o'clock. The race is run for the Arsenal Football Club.
Mm-hmm.
Champions. Maybe one of the worst moments in sports history. We'll talk about it with a couple people that couldn't care less about Arsenal, I know, and Adelia, maybe even Ferris. Not big Arsenal fans at all. Still a big story to watch for on the final day because they play everything at once on the final
Mm-hmm.
day. Will Spurs get relegated? Will it be
That's the
West Ham? A big London club is going to play in the championship next year. I can't wait for it. So a lot of fun talking English football live Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern time on Starting 11. Then we'll be back. We're going to have tomorrow that vision thing. That's continuing season 3 of Angels here on Rewatchers Council.
mm-hmm.
And then, yes, of course, join us next week for more Buffy. And flooded, of course. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Maybe in the words of the hitchhiking demon librarian goes, would you guys like and subscribe? And we'll talk to you all again next time.